I have a nationally syndicated radio show every day. It's called Ahead of the Crypto Curve, where I teach about cryptocurrencies. And currently, I'm one of the instructors for Jack Dorsey and Jay-Z in the Marcy Housing Projects for the Bitcoin Academy. And so I'm just really excited about the educational space, and education is key. And so for those of you that are new, this is going to be like today drinking from a fire hose. We get it. The gentleman just said if it's 20 hours, 40 hours, I will tell you as an ex-financial advisor on purpose, I'm not licensed anymore, it took me probably about 2 months to do a deep dive down a rabbit hole that I never lifted my head from until I understood the technology of blockchain. So please don't feel like today if you go home and like, what in the heck did I just learn? Do not feel bad. It is going to take some due diligence and some patience. We always hear, to whom much is given, much is required. This is the space where much is required in your own research and your own digestive of this information. So do not feel like you have to grasp it all immediately. And so today, I'm usually talking about cryptocurrency. So I tried to make blockchain and finance like not even something I'm talking about today. So as we go through this, I am, maybe we'll have a couple minutes at the end. You all can ask anything that you would like. As we know, blockchain is this technology, and I know the young lady was talking about it a little earlier, just trying to explain it, and I know we got a couple of newbies in the house. Blockchain, in my opinion, is a sophisticated database. For those of you that are very new to it, it's a sophisticated database. We all know what a database does. You input information on that database, you share it with whoever you want to share it with. If you need to change something, you change it. And if you're like some of our financial institutions, you delete it because you don't want to, you don't want anybody to know what's really on the books, right? That's a database at its essence. Well, my explanation of blockchain is it is meant to do two things. And I'm talking about like the real fundamental blockchain, because she told you all there's like thousands of blockchains. But blockchain was designed to do two specific things. You input information on it, and you share that information with everyone, and it should not be able to be altered or changed so that it doesn't benefit any one group or company or anybody specifically. So that's initially what blockchain has been around, and I know folks, have argued back and forth, but I think arguably, looking at some of the things that were happening in Silicon Valley, it's been around since the early 90s when we started to look at some of the papers that people were doing for schools, thesis, and things of that sort. So with that being said, some businesses need to be on the blockchain and some don't. If you can solve your issue at a company with a database, you can literally do that. Everyone does not have to be on the blockchain. But today we're talking about blockchain technology and the businesses that it definitely will affect in the future. It is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It is a technology that we need because we need to have more transparency, and we need to be able to trust those individuals by being able to verify it ourselves. And so that's why I like blockchain. So with that being said, blockchain technology obviously is revolutionizing business as we know it today. So when people ask about blockchain, like what are real world applications? Because it sounds good. It was all this, just like NFTs last year, the year before that, everybody was talking about blockchain. Everybody's business wanted to be on the blockchain. But what are the real world applications? So today we're going to explore some of the realistic implementations that are actually happening and find out what their effects are on businesses. So, in this space, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a technology all the way around. And it's supposed to be a one and not a dot, but it's there, right? So then you've got healthcare business models. And I'm not going to go through all of them for the sake of time, but I'm just going to pull out a couple of things where blockchain, again, two things, you share information. That information is there for everyone to see. It cannot be changed or altered in its essence. So when we're looking at healthcare business models, think about our medical records. Now, something that we don't actually know, and I didn't really find out until I started digging, is our medical records can be on the blockchain. And when a company like Pfizer or one of these other companies wants to actually access our medical records, they have to get our permission through this permission type of a blockchain and those sorts of things. Now, why is this going to be key moving forward? I don't know if you all know, but Blue Cross and Kaiser and several of them actually monetize our medical records. When I get sinus medication, Kaiser Permanente is sending my information over to these pharmaceutical companies, and they're monetizing on it. There are companies right now in the background that are working on us owning our own medical records, and if I want to get $100 from Pfizer so they can figure out how their sinus medication is affecting me negatively or positively, we can do that. So it's actually taking our own records into our own hands. And there are companies that are working on those types of things so that we now control our medical records and we're able to monetize them. So that's just kind of one of them. So human resources. There are some companies out here right now that are working on a blockchain for our resumes. So a show of hands, how many times have you tried to get an automotive job, but you're in medical, you're a medical assistant, and you just switched up that resume to make it look like you were in the automotive industry for the last 20 years? Well, the blockchain and people's resumes being on the blockchain is going to not allow them to give the new employer false information. Now, for some of us that are business owners, it's a great thing because we spend a lot of time onboarding people who don't have the skills that they profess to have. And so with the blockchain, we're going to be doing this thing called proof of skill. So the last employer is going to be able to input your job performance and all of the things that you've done, and they also validate your work history. And the blockchain is bringing those types of things into fruition. I think it's exciting. It might not be for some of these millennials that jump from job to job or these Gen Zs right now, but I see a guy here who feels my pain. I think this is awesome. Transportation and travel. So right now I work with a couple of individuals. There's one young lady out of Los Angeles, and whether you know it or not right now, if you're flying Delta, American Airlines, the big one, it's not Spirit, it's another one, I'll think of it in a second, they're using blockchain. And they're using blockchain right now in the transportation industry to make sure that you know where your bags are, when the flights are on time, when they're not on time, and when there's been some sort of mechanical issue on a plane that some people would try to say, hey, you know, that didn't really happen, like the rubber wasn't missing. They're putting all of those things on the blockchain, and there's several companies that are working on transportation. So you're always able to really pay attention to just the different stages of things that are happening. So if you've flown lately, it'll say your bags have just been placed on plane XYZ, or your bags are waiting for you on a certain terminal. All of those things are now being put on the blockchain. In the entertainment industry, everything is being put on the blockchain. Music is being put on the blockchain. As a young lady, you know, they just got finished talking about NFTs. There are a lot of things that are helping these artists to be able to control their music and to actually know how many doggone records they actually sold. Because if you leave it to a record company, they may say you only sold 1 million records when in essence you sold 2.5 million, and they've monetized it because you don't have any control over the amount. You just have to go by their records. But if it's on the blockchain, everyone is able to see in real time how many records are sold, how many tickets are sold, all of these things. And then the blockchain is set up where it's some of the smart contracts. It will release the money to who it's supposed to go to without having to worry about your actual agent or your record company actually dispersing those funds. And so that's what's happening in the entertainment industry. Blockchain and finance, well, we all know. We have these fabulous coins, cryptocurrency. For those of you that are new, there are thousands and thousands of cryptocurrencies. All of them are not created equal, and all of them are not on decentralized blockchains. There is a difference. And I'm going to give you my story so that every time you look at a coin, you understand that the massive need right now is that you get involved with a decentralized platform. Now, I'm a Bitcoin only person now. I'm a recovering coinaholic. I will admit it. I'm a recovering coinaholic. Every chance I got, I bought everything. But I am going to tell you about an experience with the blockchain that changed the way that I looked at every single coin that somebody presents to me. And I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to get them in too much trouble because they still got followers. So at my brick and mortar cryptocurrency exchange, we had like a WeWork space for individuals that are in blockchain or crypto or whatever they're doing. And this particular day, this gentleman who was the CEO of this coin got a call that his wallet had been hacked, meaning his cryptocurrency coin wallet had been hacked. I watched him pace my floor. I watched him get on his blockchain because he was the owner and creator, and I watched him roll back some of the blocks. And I watched him retrieve his coins. And I watched him call CoinMarketCap at the time and have them reverse some transactions. Remember, I told you, all coins are not created equal. All blockchains are not created equal. So individuals that are coming up with these cryptocurrencies, not meaning that they're all ill-intended, but if it is not a decentralized platform where you have more than one person or a company that's controlling it, it is absolutely possible for them to get their coins back. And I saw it happen. I'm telling you, I know that it happens, and I watched it then. Now, of course, CoinMarketCap is bigger now. That was in 2017. It's bigger now than before, and they probably won't do that for anybody anymore, but I watched it happen. And so that made me start to think. Every time somebody came out with a coin that was bigger and better than Bitcoin, or bigger or better than Ethereum, and it had all these other things, my major question to them was, how does your blockchain run? Who is in charge of that? And when you find out or you do a little more digging, as the young lady told you, on CoinMarketCap, you can start to find those things out before you invest your hard-earned money, because it is important. I also, and I know this isn't supposed to be in my talk, but I am also, because I have an exchange, am a firm believer that a lot of the hacks that are happening today are inside jobs. They are employees that know the protocol. They are employees that know the back doors. And I have only found, and I'm biased to Edge Wallet. I'll just say that. He's here. He knows I speak this out. I am begging you, as you look into wallets, to find the wallets that are the most secure. And I beg you to Google and find out those people that are complaining about different wallets. I have people all day long that are missing Bitcoin from their wallets from Crypto.com. We have tons of issues from Coinbase. All of the things that we're hearing, these big companies, start to look to some of our smaller local companies that really have security. I have thousands of clients, ladies and gentlemen, and I swear to you that every single one of them, we have them set up with an Edge wallet, and they've never lost a dime. And so as you look at the sponsor, understand that that's a good company. And again, not just because he's here. I know I'm getting all off key, but so as we look at finance, the blockchain is critical for you to be in or involved with the blockchain moving forward that cannot be changed, altered, or deleted. And the only one that I really know is Bitcoin. So some people can argue with me, we'll probably have argument outside, but Bitcoin has that blockchain that is doing phenomenal. So advertising and marketing. I chose to actually dive into the last one because usually I dive into number 6. But I decided to do number 7 because, ladies and gentlemen, when we look at Meta, which is AKA Facebook, when we look at all the things that have happened with Cambridge and Analytica, and just all of the things, our children from 3 years old to 100 years old are being marketed to. And we don't own our data. We don't own, everything that they do is really generated around how to extract money from our accounts, okay? The blockchain is going to be hopefully used in a better way, but I decided to just go through advertising and marketing to just help you get some real ideas about what you may be able to do in business. I didn't know if the crowd wanted to look at, you know, how to expand in your own businesses that you have, or if you're looking to start a business. But advertising and marketing right now is key with the blockchain. And again, there's a lot of different things that are in play. I believe that the best blockchain technology has not yet been created, and it's probably the baby that's going to be born next week or next month or next year, because everything we do is building upon what we've had in the past. So let's just talk about e-commerce and advertising. Technology and e-commerce both use a pattern that forecasts the trends and plan ahead. And because we're looking and we're forward thinking, we have really got to understand that blockchain records hold this immutable ledger, supposed to be, of data that can shape and predict trends. And so as we start to learn about the effects of blockchain in our society, and as you start to look at business models that are working and that are actually productive for us as a culture, as a community, I did advertising and e-commerce just so that we can see some real application. So one of the things, and I apologize because this should not be jumbled, but we had to change up to PDF from the slides I had. But so real applications. So loyalty reward swaps. This, ladies and gentlemen, is about to be huge. So if you haven't been involved in any type of customer trade or anything like that, this loyalty thing that is starting to pick up is going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. I've actually started in the last month and a half sitting with the gentleman that actually holds the patent for the rewards program, and everybody has to get permission through him for, like Visa, MasterCard, all of those for rewards. He's coming into the cryptocurrency space, and he's trying to figure out which coins he is going to utilize for these new rewards and things of that sort. So loyalty rewards swaps are going to be good, are coming forward, and it's going to allow the customers to trade blockchain verified loyalty rewards from peer to peer. And for the person that owns the business, obviously they have a higher reward program, and more people get engaged when there's more loyalty involved. So if you have a brick and mortar business that's doing something and you're not giving loyalty points or anything like that, it may be something that you're looking forward to doing, or you should be looking forward to doing in the future. Product authentication. As we know, there are lots of scam products out there. Let's think about Louis Vuitton purses and belts, and women know what I'm talking about. There's things out there that people duplicate. Folks in other countries duplicate, and the blockchain allows us to go in and verify serial numbers, and we can keep trace of the origin of where a product comes from. And then there's also real-time shipping and tracking. And they're working on some things, specifically Walmart, one of our largest retail stores. They're already doing some things on the blockchain, but then the argument then becomes who owns that blockchain? Because although we know Walmart as one of the largest companies here in North America, I can't all the time say, since I've been looking at the books, that we actually trust everything that goes on. So if they have and own their own blockchain that's not immutable, then we come into some of those issues. And so as we look at blockchain and business, maybe your business idea can actually be to verify the blockchains that are being given to folks. There's not a lot of checks and balances out there right now. So there's just a lot of different options we can go through with this thing. And then you've got a single source blockchain. And these blockchain transactions actually lock in the advertisements on individual web pages, and it's without all the banners and things of that sort. And so the benefits of that is that you as a business owner are able to find more relevant clients, sort of like what Meta does right now with us. If we look at something, if you look at a pair of shoes, you see that pair of shoes for the next 10 days, like it keeps popping up. And so all of those things now being put on the blockchain really more so help business owners really hone in on their target markets and things of that sort. But you individuals that are looking for blockchain businesses that you can get involved in, I tell everybody to start with the actual e-commerce so that you can see how things are being built out. And I also put together, let's see this really quick. I put together some examples, and again, I apologize that it's not formatted properly. So how do you monitor and grow customer loyalty? And I won't read that and go through everything, but there's a company called Momentum. And I put examples up here so that you can really, if you're interested in figuring out how to implement blockchain in your company, or you're interested in ideas of what is coming to the forefront, blockchain is here to stay, and it is going to revolutionize every industry. So Momentum is putting together customer loyalty for different companies using artificial intelligence, and they analyze spending habits. Something that I noticed, and I just moved here to Temecula. Well, I say here to Temecula, but up the road to Temecula. And one thing that I'm realizing, because I started dealing with some people from AWS, is that they're really, really at Amazon paying attention to our spending habits for the next year. Because they know if we're purchasing something now, what are we going to be buying in a year or 5 years or 10 years? And there's a whole department that sits there to do that, and that information is on the blockchain. So if I'm buying baby formula today, well, they know that in 2 years I'm going to be buying a potty for the baby. And so they're already ramping us up from now till probably about 7 to 10 years from what I'm hearing. So they already are gauging our spending habits well before, and we're not thinking that these things are happening, but they are. And so these are some of the companies that are doing those types of things. And so, again, we need people policing the people that are supposed to be policing us. So that's one of the things. One of the other ones is, and these are just examples, there's a company called Thrive, and I know you cannot see it at the bottom, but it's called Thrive. And it's another artificial intelligence program that is on the blockchain, and that it does all the advertising and forecasting for that. The luxury goods, and you all who want to know the names of the companies, you can actually get with me and I can give you those so you have them. XYO is one of the ones that is doing some tracking of shipment in real time. And it really used to be difficult to track shipments and their exact location. But now you see Amazon is doing that perfectly. They tell you they left it in a locker, or they left it to the right, or they take a picture. All of those things are now being documented on the blockchain. And so it just helps them do better customer service. So One of the things that we really need to do is protect our valuables with a digital identity. Digital identities, ladies and gentlemen, and I just wanted to make sure that we honed in on this, are unique codes that are assigned to objects or goods to ensure that they're tied to an owner specifically. Blockchain identity businesses create and assign digital identities to actual items. This allows an individual to assign their own unique IDs to any item to prove their ownership. This is going to be huge when we're talking about real estate. And I don't want to say real estate specifically with this one, and I will quickly talk about real estate, because for those of you that are buying houses, selling houses, no real estate agents, no escrow brokers, I'm going to say we, because we are working on some things that will get rid of some of the problems that we have right now, and I'll tell you about that. But it's going to, people will be able to access an actual serial number or a VIN number or any other identification metric. So let's stop really quick, because we're applying this to real estate right now. So let's think about those of you that have bought a house. We had to buy title insurance. Why do we buy title insurance? Because someone could come up in the next 5 to 10 years to say that they actually owned the property that we bought. So we buy title insurance because that deed could pop up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what if our deeds were on the blockchain? And when I got ready to sell my house to this couple, they didn't need title insurance because that blockchain has been verified through the county, or the county owns that blockchain. And any other liens or encumbrances have already been verified. They're no longer, the title is free and clear. It gets rid of title insurance. But guess what else blockchain gets rid of? Escrow and escrow fees. I'm loving it. I'm an investor. I'm loving it because of the fact that on the blockchain, everything is transparent and everything is verified. There's no need for escrow because we're transferring from peer to peer based on the records that are at the county. And so in the background, we're working on some things with a couple of the municipalities to try to implement blockchain in those areas. And so title insurance goes away, escrow goes away. You got more money to spend on your house. Not that it's a whole lot, but, you know, every month, you know, however they add it. And then there's just so many other applications of blockchain that are happening in business right now. It is really, really important if you have a Tesla, in case you didn't know, for those of you that see people with Teslas or have Teslas, when your Tesla gets bumped and, you know, or somebody's too close to it, I don't know if you all know, but that information is being stored. And for the next 20 to 30 years, you will be able to go to, I'm not going to call it their blockchain as of yet because they're still working through some things, but 20 to 30 years from now, you will be able to buy that Tesla, or someone will be able to buy that Tesla and tell that on October 10th at 2022 at 5 o'clock, the bumper on this Tesla was nicked and it didn't leave a scratch. Blockchain allows this new owner of the car to know the history. Right now we got Carfax. I will tell you that Carfax, in my opinion, is kind of a joke because people don't report accidents. They just kind of get it fixed and then they put it out there to sell it, and whatever Carfax they reported is what actually happens. Blockchain eliminates that. It gives us a sort of a trustless society because we don't have to trust, we can verify. And so with that, I know I got a couple more minutes. If anyone, I know we had some beginners in here. We had some individuals that may have some questions, and I just wanted to leave it open. It doesn't have to be a blockchain question. It can actually be any question that you have about Web3 or crypto or any of those things. But this blockchain thing is here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. Money is here to stay. I'm not going to get on everybody else's topics, but watch what is happening politically in our country. This space, meaning the cryptocurrency and the blockchain space, has put the most money into our new political candidates than any other industry. We're beating oil and tobacco. When this election is done, and we won't get into political things, but when this election is done, there are going to be some massive things happening in crypto and blockchain. And so you need to be ready. For your friends and family, just as the gentleman stated, it is hard. Even though I own a Bitcoin bank, it is hard to convince the family what they need to be doing. But I will tell you this, it's not going anywhere. They are actively working, as you know, on the CBDC for this country, the central bank digital currency, and it's coming. Regulation is coming. We welcome regulation for blockchain. We welcome regulation for crypto, but we don't want rulers. And that's what I say all the time. We want regulation, not rulers. So I'll open it up if anyone has any questions. The gentleman back there has his hand up. There's a couple. So gray shirt, we'll go first. Right. Right. Well, I didn't want to say that, but, we want to have trust in some of our companies we look to, but you're absolutely right. So you're asking me what a small business can do. And first and foremost, all small businesses don't need to be on the blockchain. That's first and foremost. And then what you're also talking about is something that we always are having a thought about. Like if Walmart owns this blockchain and I'm this small business, I've got to trust the records that they're sending me. And then we've got to trust the records that are coming from the farms that are reporting to them, right? So there's a whole bunch of things. I just feel like someone has to get something that's interoperable. Right, because it wasn't inoperable, right? Their different chains didn't work together. Hmm. Yes. And I totally agree, but you're talking about you're talking about using blockchain for the monetary, right? Right, but you have different applications. So specifically, when I'm talking to a business about implementing blockchain into their business, on the monetary side, Bitcoin, in my opinion, is the way to go. Right now, which is why I said that the person that is going to solve this problem may not even be born as of yet. Because it's just not, it hasn't happened for us right yet. Like, my brain doesn't go but some of these kids, it's gonna click for them, and they're gonna say, oh, heck, I figured out how to do, Yeah, they're going to get it. We're like just starting this thing and we're trying to figure it out, but you're absolutely right. It doesn't work all the way around. So there's some fragmenting. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yes.
Not as high level as the question. You know, investing in blockchain and technology is important, but also investing in the companies that we interact with and see on a daily basis is important as well. You mentioned like big tech, Tesla, Amazon, Walmart, the airlines. You know, Bank of America has some patents in the space. Any other publicly traded companies that you would recommend that either are implementing this technology or looking to really introduce something to?
So absolutely, great question, and your question and comment was perfect too. So let me suggest this as an ex-financial advisor on purpose. When I first really started learning how phenomenal blockchain technology is, I started investing in companies that started filing blockchain patents. So how I did that was I went into Google and I set up a Google alert. And anytime blockchain patent was mentioned in any article, in any periodical, the name of the company comes to me at 5 o'clock every day. So for those of you that are in crypto or in blockchain, if you have something that you're researching or want to research, go to Google Alerts. And every day, religiously at 5 o'clock, Google will tell you about it. So I know when I'm in the news because one of my alerts is Naja Roberts. And so when I get at 5 o'clock, I know who's talking about me. If Jack Dorsey tweets me, I know it because I'm in there with Google Alerts. So as you begin to do your due diligence, use Google Alerts. It'll be your best friend, but you're right on point. And we've done well with companies that are doing blockchain technology. I'm going to give y'all one more nugget because she gave me one more minute. I also sit with some of the executives in LA at Chase. Chase has a secret cryptocurrency department, and they're implementing blockchain, crypto. They went live for about 10 minutes. We were able to actually log onto our Chase app and see them selling Bitcoin. It's coming, y'all. You know BNY Mellon? It's coming. This is not going anywhere. I'm excited. His hand was up. Do I have a second? Go ahead.
I'm interested. I was researching, doing some research on the companies that were developing the software to remedy the idea of the title situation about title insurance.
Title
And
insurance.
I run up against this issue of you have to be an accredited investor in order to participate.
That's how they box us out.
Yeah, but what I'm wondering, are there any companies that will pool people together
To do that,
who have lesser resources?
so
that you
send me a
can-
quick text message and I will send you, there's a company in Tampa, Florida
Okay.
that is doing exactly what you're asking. And I don't want to go over my time. I thank you. Oh, this is not my computer. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Naja. I did not get a chance to intro her, but she has dedicated the past 10 years to just educating people about blockchain technology, and she really is an outstanding speaker. I'm so glad we were able to have her be here today. So huge thank you to Naja. All right, I'm going to situate Valerie. She's our next speaker, so just give me a couple minutes. Let's see, get that down. You, and where is it? All right, Valerie is going to be our next speaker. She is a one second. She's a Latin American entrepreneur who founded the SDNFT Friends Meetup Group here in San Diego. She also is a co-founder of the Web3 SD conference here today. She's done tons and tons of work to put this together, so I'm really excited to intro her. Before I do, I also wanted to mention that she created the first loyalty rewards program involving NFTs here in San Diego at an Italian restaurant. I'm sure she's going to touch on it. It's revolutionary, and she's just a rock star. So let's go ahead and welcome Valerie on stage. It looks like it wants to play itself. Okay. So maybe we can pause, and then you can.
Okay, so play and pause.
You should be able to. Yeah, just go.
Okay. All right. All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the conference. And thank you so much for coming to see me speak. So like Madison said, I'm not only one of the lead organizers here for Web3SD, but I'm also the founder of San Diego NFT Friends, which is a local meetup group that meets about once a month. And we talk about NFTs, and we help to onboard people and network as well. So I'm here to talk to you today about NFT 101 education and help you understand what is an NFT and why care about it. So before I go into answering those questions, I think it's important for you all to understand how I caught the NFT bug, how I got started here in NFTs. So my journey actually starts last year in May of 2021. I was finishing my first year in graduate school in sports medicine. I was at a cafe studying for my final, and my significant other, Keegan, comes into the cafe and starts talking to me about NFTs and all this stuff. And the only word I really understood in that whole conversation was a name that he dropped, and that name was Gary Vee. And so Gary Vee is a well-known entrepreneur. So I knew of him, but I didn't follow Gary Vee like Keegan did. Keegan had been following Gary Vee for at least 8 years. So the first thing I said was, why are you interrupting me? I'm trying to study for a final here. And then the second thing I said is, why should I care? I don't even follow Gary Vee like you do. And so he began to tell me what he learned from Gary Vee. Gary Vee had been sharing articles and YouTube videos about his NFT project that was coming out called VeeFriends. And so he explained to me that NFTs is on blockchain technology. And this is the next wave of technology that they're calling Web3. So he said, you could imagine if there's a Web3, there was probably a Wave 1 and a Wave 2. So Wave 1, which is Web 1, was the birth of the internet, the creation of the internet. Web 2 was the creation of apps for your smartphone. So you can imagine anyone who had invested early on in those technologies and at least held on to their stocks for at least the next 5 to 10 years probably made pretty well off for themselves. Because we know everyone has apps on their phones nowadays. Everyone has internet in their back pocket on their smartphone. So you can imagine with this Web3 technology that if you held on to it, maybe for the next 5 to 10 years, we could do well off as well. And so that lit the light bulb off in my head because unfortunately, a year before, my mom had passed away unexpectedly. And she didn't have much in her account when she passed, so I didn't get to inherit much. And I had a younger sister. I have no kids, so all I have is a younger sister who was 19 at the time. And this really got me thinking, what happens to me if I were to unexpectedly pass away? What am I going to leave my sister and possibly my future family? So this got me thinking, this could be the opportunity. NFTs could be my opportunity in this new wave of technology. So anyways, that's a little bit about how I caught the NFT bug. But you're probably wondering what the heck this is, this drawing here. This is actually my first NFT. This was an NFT that is the VeeFriends from Gary Vee's project, and I won it for free in a giveaway directly from Gary Vee. He gave me this NFT. So just quickly shout out some numbers. What do you think this NFT was worth at its peak? Someone said 25,000. Any other numbers? $200. Yeah, it looks kind of like, yeah, well. So here we go. Before I tell you, let me tell you a little bit about what you're looking at here. So this is my NFT. It's on a platform called OpenSea, which is a market where you can sell, buy, and trade NFTs. And whether or not you want to sell it, people can openly make offers on your NFT. And so that's what you're looking at here. I was getting notifications of people offering me real money in crypto, what they wanted to buy this image for. And so someone was offering me about $94,000. And so I thought, well, why would anyone want to pay $94,000 on this NFT? But let me tell you this. People who are offering you are lowballing you, so that's not even the peak. What the peak really was, it was worth $120,000. On September 13th, 2021, I could guarantee if I wanted to sell that NFT, I could make $120,000. So I still didn't know what an NFT really was, but I knew something important was happening here. So, with that being said, I would like to introduce you into what an NFT is and hopefully help you understand this technology. So, an NFT is an acronym, stands for non-fungible token. But I think it's important that we break it down. What does the word fungible even mean? And so fungible is an item that has value that is consistent. It never goes up or down in value. So I want you to imagine I have a $10 bill, and you have a $10 bill. You got this $10 bill from New York. I got my $10 bill from here in California. And let's just say we want to be silly or something, and we say, hey, let's trade our $10 bills. And because we do that, does that mean our $10 bills increase or decrease in value? Just because your $10 bill came from New York, my $10 bill came from California, does it go up or down in value because of that? No, not at all, right? So we know that if we go and spend our $10 anywhere in the 50 states of America, that everybody would understand, oh, hello, is the mic, okay. That everybody would understand that this $10 bill will always be $10. It will never go up or down in value. So that is a fungible item. A fungible item is consistent in value all the time. So now we can understand what non-fungible means. Non-fungible is an item that can increase or decrease in value depending on its uniqueness, depending on its unique properties. So an example would be diamonds. Diamonds have unique properties that can make a diamond increase or decrease in value, such as the cuts, the colors, the sizes, the shapes and grades of a diamond. Another example could be a collectible trading card. Does this Leo Messi card have any water stains, scratches, folded or bent corners? Does it even have a signature on it? So all those properties, all those unique properties can make either a diamond or a trading card of Leo Messi more valuable than another. So hopefully now that we understand non-fungible, we can start beginning to understand what a non-fungible token is. So unlike the diamond and unlike the Leo Messi card, it is not physical. An NFT is not physical, but it is digitally based, and it has its own unique properties, and it can make its value go up or down, just like a house or a car or a diamond can. And so what we're looking at here, hopefully these images look recognizable to you. But this is from a collection called Bored Ape Yacht Club. Again, we're looking at OpenSea, and OpenSea actually tells you what its properties are, what unique properties are attached to this image. So if we look at this Bored Ape here, we could see that this image has golden fur, golden brown fur. And it says 8% have this trait, meaning in the entire Bored Ape Yacht Club collection, only 8% have golden brown fur, which sounds, pretty rare to me. But then if we compare it to this ape here, it has trippy fur, which is 0.77% have this trait in the entire collection. So compared to each other, you could potentially say that this Bored Ape with the trippy fur could be more valuable than this one here. So hopefully you can have a better understanding what an NFT means, what it is. But now you're probably wondering what can become an NFT besides just an image of an ape. So some examples I have here are virtual worlds can be NFTs, domain names can be NFTs, music can be NFTs, but you're probably thinking, why? Why would any of those be NFTs? You probably have games that you've played like World of Warcraft or Call of Duty. Why would that need to be an NFT? You probably have bought your domain name from GoDaddy.com. Why would that need to be an NFT? And you probably listen to all of your music on popular streaming platforms. Like, you probably listen to all of your favorite music on popular streaming platforms. So why would any of those ever need to be NFTs? And the answer is ownership. Ownership. So let's imagine you are playing Call of Duty or World of Warcraft, and you've spent many, many hours building your level, collecting special items. Imagine if that was an NFT. That NFT actually gives you ownership. You own that avatar. Now imagine someone who's new and starts playing that game and wants to get to the level that you went to, but they would have to spend all those hours. What if you could sell your avatar as an NFT and sell it to them? They probably find your NFT very valuable, and you can make some profit there. What about domain names? Right now, if you buy your domain name on GoDaddy, can you sell that? You can't. But if it was an NFT, you certainly can. What about music? What about if your song was an NFT and it went viral, and any time someone was using it for a TikTok or using it for their commercial, what if you started making money every time? And what if you wanted to sell your song down the line? You certainly could and make money off of that, right? So this is where I think where we are right now with this NFT and this technology, blockchain technology. I think of the early Steve Jobs, the early Bill Gates, and where all of this technology is not user-friendly. It's very clunky. Things are very slow. But we all know that this is what it looked like, right, in the 70s, 80s, early 90s. But what are iPhones at now? What are our Androids looking like now? Look at how far the technology has come. So this is where I think blockchain technology and NFTs are at. And this is actually very exciting, because that means new Bill Gates and early Steve Jobs are being made. They're finding their co-founders. People are building relationships. People are innovating, and there are developers that are working right now very hard to make sure that this technology gets mass adopted. And so we're already seeing these shifts. We see them with the Staples Center up in LA. It used to be called the Staples Center, and Crypto.com bought it, so now it's the Crypto Arena. We know Mattel is very popular with Barbies and other collectibles. They've had an NFT. Gucci is in NFTs. Snoop Dogg and his music is in NFTs. Starbucks Loyalty Rewards Program is in NFTs. And even the jewelry company, Tiffany, is in NFTs as well. And so we're also seeing this with Padres, Go Padres. SDSU has an NFT, but we're also seeing it have a social impact. So we see things like, people are giving crypto to countries that are in war, like Ukraine. We see NFTs being used for sustainable agriculture infrastructure. People are donating with crypto to their favorite nonprofits. People fundraised over $54 million for Julia Assange's cage with NFTs. And people are using NFT art like a molecule to fund cancer research. So there is really great things happening with this technology as well. So now, why should you care? Why should you care? And that's because this technology is decentralized. It means not any big corporation or one big entity owns all of this blockchain technology. It's really spread out across the world. It is open source, meaning that the code to build on it is open for anyone to use. It is not held or token gated from anyone. Anyone can use it and build on it and improve on it. And that's also with all of the technology like NFTs on blockchain technology. So what this means is that it's disrupting traditional systems like the bank, like Apple and Google and Amazon. They're already using all of your data to sell to third parties and collecting information about you. But what if you were to own that with NFTs? You get to decide what you decide to share, and if you wanted to sell it, you profit from that. And so with this, I think there's an opportunity here in this technology that if you invest now or understand and get to learn more about it, that this is an opportunity not just for one person or one organization, one company, one entity to make all the money. We all can. And so we're able to prosper together, no matter the socioeconomic background you come from. So it doesn't even matter if you grew up poor, if you grew up in a wealthy family, this technology is open for everyone to use. So with that, you're probably wondering, what is my NFT worth now? So my NFT is now, people are offering me close to $8,000. Comfortably, I can probably sell it for about $10,000. So clearly it took a dip from last year. So this was 2 days ago. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I never sold it, and I'm going to keep holding on to it because I believe if I hold on to it, this is my answer in the next 5 to 10 years, that this is my opportunity for financial freedom. And I have other NFTs that I feel the same way about. So yeah, and if you want to learn more and you want to talk more, you can get plugged in with my community. Follow us at SD NFT Friends, and I'd love to hear more. So yeah, how are we on time? Are we good on time? Oh, we have a couple minutes. Does anybody have questions? I can take like one question, right? Does anyone have questions?